Yeah. You can see the screen, Rajesh. Viren, you
So,
want to read, no? Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Rajesh, you
Yes.
take over now. I've started with the recording also.
yeah, yeah, please.
And later on, when the AI part you want, I'll show you how to do.
Yeah, yeah.
I won't be able to read. I'll just be on the listening mode. Others, please carry on. I'll be there.
Okay, so good morning. Okay, let me start with this. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to our next morning book, next reading session with that new book from today onwards. Let's start with Why by Simon Sinek. This is not just a business book or that leadership book. It has a powerful reminder that what are the techniques and what are the things we have to, as a leader or as an individual, what are things we have to follow. He has nicely explained about explaining this book with the different chapters. I think this book has around 6 chapters. Each chapter with a very thought-provoking topics he has covered. So let's have an amazing experience with this book from today. So who is going to start now? Read, you know?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah,
can you just
please.
make it full screen or zoom it
Okay, okay.
from the
Uh,
bottom right?
okay, can you see?
Yeah, I can see. Okay, so here from here we can start, right? So good morning, everyone. Uh, there are leaders and there are those who lead. Leaders hold a position of power or influence. Those who lead inspire us, whether individuals or organizations. We follow those who lead not because we have to, but because we want to. We follow those who lead not for them, but for ourselves. This is a book for those who want to inspire others and for those who want to find someone to inspire them. Okay, so we will skip this, right? Content introduction. Why start with why? This book is about a naturally occurring pattern, a way of thinking, acting, and communicating that gives some leaders the ability to inspire those around them. Although these natural born leaders may have come into the world with a predisposition to inspire, the ability is not reserved for them exclusively. We can all learn this pattern. With a little discipline, any leader or organization can inspire others, both inside and outside their organization. To help advance their ideas and their vision, we can all learn to lead. The goal of this book is not simply to try to fix the things that aren't working. Rather, I wrote this book as a guide to focus on and amplify the things that do work. I do not aim to upset the solution offered by others. Most of the answers we get, when based on sound evidence, are perfectly valid. However, if we are starting with the wrong question, if we don't understand the cause, then even the right answers will always steer us wrong. Eventually, the truth you see is always revealed eventually. The stories that follows are of those individuals and organizations that naturally embody this pattern. They are the ones that start with why. The goal was ambitious. Public interest was high. Experts were eager to contribute. Money was readily available. Armed with every ingredient for success, Samuel Pierpont Langley set out in the early 19s to be the first man to pilot an airplane. Highly regarded, he was a senior officer at the Smithsonian Institution, a mathematics professor who had also worked at Harvard. His friends included some of the most powerful men in government and business, including Andrew Carnegie. and Alexander Graham Bell. Langley was given a $50,000 grant from the War Department to fund this project, a tremendous amount of money for the time. He pulled together the best minds of the day, a veritable dream team of talent and know how. Langley and his team used the finest material, and the press followed him everywhere. People all over the country were riveted the story, waiting to read that he had achieved his goal. With the team he had gathered and ample resources, his success was guaranteed. Or was it? A few hundred miles away, Wilbur and Orville Wright were working on their own flying machine. Their passion to fly was so intense that it inspired the enthusiasm and commitment of a dedicated group in their hometown of Dayton, Ohio. There was no funding for their venture, no government grants, no high level connection. Not a single person on the team had an advanced degree or even a college education. Not even Wilbur or Orville. But the team banded together in a humble bicycle shop and made their vision real. On December 17, 1903, a small group witnessed a man take flight for the first time in history. How did the Wright brothers succeeded where a better equipped, better funded, and better educated team could not? So now, this is a second. It was luck. Both the Wright brothers and Langley were highly motivated. Sorry, it wasn't luck. Both the Wright brothers and Langley were highly motivated. Both had a strong work ethic. Both had keen scientific minds. They were pursuing exactly the same goal. But only the Wright brothers were able to inspire those around them and truly lead their team to develop a technology that would change the world. Only the Wright brothers started with why. In 1965, students on the campus of the University of California, Berkeley, were the first to publicly burn their draft cards to protest America's involvement in Vietnam War. Northern California was a hotbed of anti-government and anti-establishment sentiment. Footage of clashes and riots in Berkeley and Oakland was beamed around the globe, fueling sympathetic movement across the United States and Europe. But it wasn't until 1976, nearly 3 years after the end of America's military movement in Vietnam conflict, that a different revolution ignited. They aimed to make an impact, a very big impact, even challenge the way people perceived how the world worked. But this young revolutionary did not throw stones or take up arms against an authoritarian regime. Instead, they decided to beat the system at its own game. For Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple Computer, the battlefield was business and the weapon was choice was the personal computer. The personal computer revolution was beginning to brew when Wozniak built the I, Apple One. Just starting to gain attention, the technology was primarily seen as a tool for business. Computers were too complicated and out of the price range of average individual. But Wozniak, a man not motivated by money, envisioned a noble purpose for the technology. He saw the personal computer as a way for the little man to take on a corporation. If he could figure out a way to get it in the hands of individual, he thought the computer would give nearly anyone the ability to perform many of the same functions as a vastly better resourced company. The personal computer could level the playing field and change the way the world operated. Woz designed the Apple One and improved the technology with Apple II to be affordable and simple to use. No matter how visionary or how brilliant, a great idea or a great product isn't worth much if no one buys it. Wozniak's best friend at the time, the 21-year-old Steve Jobs, knew exactly what to do. Though he had experience selling surplus electronics parts, Jobs would prove to be much more than a good salesman. He wanted to do something significant in the world. and building a company how he was going to do it. Apple was the tool he used to ignite his revolution. In their first year in business, with only one product, Apple made $1 million in revenue. By year two, they did $10 million in sales. In their fourth year, they sold $100 million worth of computers. And in just 6 years, Apple Computer was a $1 billion company with over 3,000 employees. Jobs and Woz were not the only people taking part in the personal computer revolution. They weren't the only smart guys in the business. In fact, they didn't know much about business at all. What made Apple special was not their ability to build such a fast growth company. It wasn't their ability to think differently about personal computers. What has made Apple special is that they have been able to repeat the pattern over and over and over. Unlike any of their competitors, Apple has successfully challenged conventional thinking within the computer industry. The small electronics industry, the music industry, the mobile phone industry, and the broader entertainment industry. And the reason is simple: Apple inspires. Apple starts with why. He was not perfect. He had his complexities. He was not the only one who suffered in a pre civil rights America. And there were plenty of other charismatic speakers. But Martin Luther King Jr. had a gift. He knew how to inspire people. Dr. King knew that if the civil rights movement was to succeed, if there was a to be real, lasting change, it would take more than him and his closest allies. It would take more than rousing words and eloquent speeches. It would take people, tens of thousands of average citizens, united by a single vision to change the country. At 11 a.m. on August 28, 1963, they would send a message to Washington that it was time for America to steer a new course. The organizers of the civil rights movements did not send out thousands of invitations, nor was there a website to check the date. But the people came, and they kept coming and coming. All told, a quarter of million of people descended on the nation's capital in time to hear the words immortalized by history, delivered by the man who would lead a movement that would change America forever. I have a dream. The ability to attract so many people from across the country of all colors and races to join together on the right day at the right time took something special. Though others knew that had to change in America to bring about civil rights for all, it was Martin Luther King who was able to inspire a country to change, not just for the good of minority, but for the good of everyone. Martin Luther King started with why. There are leaders and there are those who lead. With only 6% market share in the United States and about 3% worldwide, Apple is not leading manufacturer of home computers. Yet the company leads the computer industry and is now a leader in other industry as well. Martin Luther King's experience were not unique, yet he inspired a nation to change. The Wright brothers were not the strongest contenders in the race to take the first manned powered flight, but they led us into a new era of aviation and in doing so completely changed the world we live in. Their goals were not different than anyone else, and their systems and processes were easily replicated. Yet the Wright brothers, Apple and Martin Luther King stand out among their peers. They stand apart from the norm and their impact is not easily copied. They are members of a very select group of leaders who do something very special. They inspire us. Just about every person or organization needs to motivate others to act for some reasons or another. Some want to motivate a purchase decision, others are looking for support or a vote. Still, others are keen to motivate the people around them to work harder or smarter or just follow the rules. The ability to motivate people is not in itself difficult. It is usually tied to some external factor. Tempting incentives or the threat of punishment will often elicit the behavior we desire. General Motors, for example, so successfully motivated people to buy their products that they sold more cars than any other automaker in the world for over century 7 years, sorry, 77 years. Though they were leaders in their industry, they did not lead. Great leaders, in contrast, are able to inspire people to act. Those who are able to inspire give people a sense of purpose or belonging that has little to do with any external incentive or benefit to be gained. Those who truly lead are able to create a following of people who act not because they were swayed, but because they were inspired. For those who are inspired, the motivation to act is deeply personal. They are less likely to be swayed by incentives. Those who are inspired are willing to pay a premium or endurance inconvenience, even personal suffering. Those who are able to inspire will create a following of people, supporters, voters, customers, workers who act for the good of the whole, not because they have to, but because they want to. So, anyone want to take off from here?
Yeah, let's hand over. Thank you, Virenji. Let's hand over to Manishji. Manish, would you like to continue?
Yeah.
Yeah, please start from though relatively. Very
Okay, one second. Good morning, all.
good
Though
morning.
relatively few in number, the organizations and leaders with the natural ability to inspire us come in all shapes and sizes. They can be found in both the public and private sectors. They are in all sorts of industries, selling to consumers or in other businesses. Regardless of where they exist, they all have a uh, what is it? Disproportionate amount of influence in their industries. They have the most loyal customers and the most loyal employees. They tend to be more profitable than others in their industry. They are more innovative and most importantly, they are able to sustain all those things over the long term. Many of them change industries, some of them even change the world. The Wright brothers, Apple, and Dr. King are just three examples. Harley Davidson, Disney, and Southwest Airlines are three more. John F. Kennedy and Ronald Reagan were also able to inspire. No matter from where they hail, they all have something in common. All the inspiring leaders and companies, regardless of size or industry, think, act, and communicate exactly alike. Okay. And it is the complete opposite of everyone else. What if we could all learn to think, act, and communicate like those who inspire? I imagine a world in which the ability to inspire is practiced not just by a chosen few, but by the majority. Studies show that over 80% of Americans do not have their dream job. If more knew how to build organizations that inspire, we could live in a world in which statistics was the reverse. A world in which over 80% of people love their jobs. People who love going to work are more productive and more creative. They go home happier and have happier families. They treat their colleagues and clients and consumers better. Inspired employees make make for stronger companies and stronger economies. That is why I wrote this book. I hope to inspire others to do the things that inspire them so that together we may build the companies, the economy, and a world in which trust and loyalty are the norm and not the exception. This book is not designed to tell you what to do or how to do it. Its goal is not to give you a course of action. Its goal is to offer you the cause of action. For those who have an open mind for new ideas, who seek to create long lasting success, and who believe that your success uh, requires the aids of others. I offer you a challenge. From now on, start with why.
We are
Part
done
1.
with that introduction part. Let's start with the actual subject, get into subject.
A world that does not start with why. Assume you know. Rajesh, can you make the font bit little bigger?
It is a bigger screen. I think I have shared one screen and it's made it complete full screen. I don't know why. Even it is
Okay,
okay.
that's
One
fine.
minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, thank you.
Hmm.
On a cold January day, a 43-year-old man was sworn in as the chief executive of his country. By his side stood by his predecessor, a famous general who 15 years earlier had commanded his nation's armed forces in a war that resulted in the defeat of Germany. The young leader was raised in the Roman Catholic faith. He spent the next 5 hours watching parades in his honor and stayed up celebrating until 3 o'clock in the morning. You know who I am describing, right? It's January 30, 1933, and I'm describing Adolf Hitler, and not, as most people would assume, John F. Kennedy. The point is, we make assumptions. We make assumptions about the world around us based on sometimes incomplete or false information. In this case, the information I offered was incomplete. Many of you were convinced that I was describing John F. Kennedy until I added one minor little detail, the date. This is important because our behavior is affected by our assumptions or our perceived truths. We make decisions based on what we think we know. It was not too long ago that the majority of people believed the world was flat. This perceived truth impacted behavior. During this period, there was little exploration. People learned that if they traveled too far, they might fall off the edge of the earth. So far, the most part, they stayed put. It was not until that minor detail was revealed. The world is round. That behaviors changed on a massive scale. Upon this discovery, societies began to traverse the planet. Trade routes were established, spices were traded, new ideas like mathematics were shared between societies, which unleashed all kinds of innovation and advancements. The correction of a simple false assumption moved the human race forward. Now consider how organizations are formed and how decisions are made. Do we really know why some organizations succeed and why others don't? Or we just assume? No matter your definition of success, hitting a target stock price, making a certain amount of money, meeting a revenue or profit goal, getting a big promotion, starting your own company, feeding the poor, winning public office, how we go about achieving our goals is very similar. Some of us just wing it, but most of us try to at least gather some data so we can make educated decisions. Sometimes this gathering process is formal, like conducting polls or market research, and sometimes it is informal, like asking our friends and colleagues for advice or looking back on our own personal experience to provide some perspective. Regardless of the process, mm, okay, regardless of the process or the goals, we all want to make educated decisions. More importantly, we all want to make the right decisions. As we all know, however, not all decisions work out to be the right ones, regardless of the amount of data we collect. Sometimes the impact of these wrong decisions is minor, and sometimes it can be catastrophic. Whatever the result, we make decisions based on a perception of the world that may not, in fact, be completely accurate. Just as so many were certain that I was describing John F. Kennedy, At the beginning of this section, you were certain you were right. You might even have bet money on it, a behavior based on assumption. Certain, that is, until I offered that little detail of the date. Not only bad decisions are made on false assumptions, sometimes when things go right, we think we know why. But do we really? That the result went the way you wanted does not mean you can repeat it over and over. I have a friend who invests some of his own money. Whenever he does well, it is because of his brains and ability to pick the right stocks, at least according to him. But when he loses money, he always blames the market. I have no issue with either line of logic, but either his success and failure hinge upon his own perspective and blindness, or they hinge upon good and bad luck. But it can't be both. So, how can we ensure that all our decisions will yield the best results for reasons that are fully within our control? Logic dictates that more information and data are key, but that's exactly what we do. We read books, attend conferences, listen to podcasts, and ask friends and colleagues, all with the purpose of finding out more so we can figure out what to do or how to act. The problem is we have all been in situations in which we have all the data and get lots of good advice, but things still don't go right, quite right. Or maybe the impact lasted for only a short time, or something happened that we could not foresee. A quick note to all of you who correctly guessed Adolf Hitler at the beginning of the section. The details I gave are the same for Hitler and John F. Kennedy. It could have been better. It could have been either. You have to be careful when you think you know. Assumptions you see, even when based on sound research, can lead us astray. Intuitively, we understand this. We understand that even with mountains of data and good advice, if things don't go as expected, it is probably because we missed one, sometimes small but vital detail. In these cases, we go back to all our sources, maybe seek out some new ones and try to figure out what to do. And the whole process begins again. More data, however, does not always help, especially if a flawed assumption set the whole process in motion in the first place. There are other factors that must be considered, factors that exist outside of our rational, analytical, information hungry brains. There are times in which we had no data or we choose to ignore that advice or information at hand and just went with our gut and things worked out just fine, sometimes even better than expected. This dance between gut and rational decision making pretty much covers how we conduct business and even live our lives. We can continue to slice and dice all the options in every direction. But at the end of all the good advice and all the compelling evidence, we are left where we started. How to explain or decide a course of action that yields a desired effect that is repeatable? How can we have 2020 foresight? There is a wonderful story of a group of American car executives who went to Japan to see a Japanese assembly line. At the end of the line, the doors were put on the hinges, the same as in America. But something was missing. In the United States, a line worker would take a rubber mallet and tap the edges of the door to ensure that it fit perfectly. In Japan, that job did not seem to exist. Confused, the American auto executives asked at what point they made sure the door fit perfectly. Their Japanese guide looked at them and smiled sheepishly. We make sure it fits when we design it. In the Japanese auto plant, they did not examine the problem and accumulate data to figure out the best solution. They engineered the outcome they wanted from the beginning. If they did not achieve their desired outcome, they understand it was because of a decision they made at the start of the process. Yeah. At the end of the day, the doors on the American made and Japanese made cars appear to fit when each rolled off the assembly line. Except the Japanese did not need to employ someone to hammer doors. nor did they need to buy any mallets. More importantly, the Japanese doors are likely to last longer and maybe even be more structurally sound in an accident. All this for no other reason than they ensured the pieces fit from the start. What the automakers did with their rubber mallets is a metaphor for how so many people and organizations lead. When faced with a result that does not go according to plan, a series of perfectly effective short-term tactics are used until the desired outcome is achieved. But how structurally sound are those solutions? So many organizations function in a world of tangible goals and the mallets to achieve them. The ones that achieve more, the ones that get more out of fewer people and fewer resources, the ones with an outsized amount of influence. However, build products and companies and even recruit people. I missed it. Can you? Yeah. And even recruit people that all fit based on the original intention. Even though the outcome may look the same, great leaders understand the value in the things we cannot see. Every instruction.
Manishi, can we transfer to Anjali? I think we have 7:37.
Yeah, yeah,
Can
please
we
go ahead.
transfer the case to yeah? Anjali, ma'am, please
Yes,
please start from every
thank you.
instruction we give.
Okay. Every instruction we give, every course of action we set, every result we desire starts with the same thing, a decision. There are those who decide to manipulate the door to fit to achieve the desired result, and there are those who start from somewhere very different. Though both courses of action may yield similar short-term results, it is what we can't see that makes long-term success more predictable for only one. The one that understood why the doors need to fit by design and not by default.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Chapter 2, Carrots and Sticks. Manipulation versus inspiration. There's barely a product or service on the market today that customers can't buy from someone else for about the same price, about the same quality, about the same level of service, and about the same features. If you truly have a first mover's advantage, it's probably lost in a matter of months. If you offer something truly novel, someone else will soon come up with something similar and maybe even better. But if you ask most businesses why their customers are their customers, most will tell you it's because of superior quality, features, price, or service. In other words, most companies have no clue why their customers are their customers. This is a fascinating realization. If companies don't know why their customers are their customers, odds are good that they don't know why their employees are their employees either. If most companies don't really know why their customers are their customers or why their employees are their employees, then how do they know how to attract more employees and encourage loyalty among those they already have? The reality is, most businesses today are making decisions based on a set of incomplete or worse, completely flawed assumptions about what's driving their business. There are only two ways to influence human behavior. You can manipulate it or you can inspire it. When I mention manipulation, this is not necessarily perorative. It's a very common and fairly benign tactic. In fact, many of us have been doing it since we were young. I'll be your best friend. It is the highly effective negotiating tactic employed by generations of children to obtain something they want from a peer. And as any child who has ever handed over candy hoping for a new best friend will tell you, it works. From business to politics, manipulations run rampant in all forms of sales and marketing. Typical manipulations include dropping the price, running a promotion, using fear, peer pressure, or aspirational messages, and promising innovation to influence behavior, be it a purchase, a vote, or support. When companies or organizations do not have a clear sense of why their customers are their customers, they tend to rely on a disproportionate number of manipulations to get what they need, and for good reason. Manipulations work. Price. Many companies are reluctant to play the price game, but they do so because they know it is effective. So effective, in fact, that the temptation can sometimes be overwhelming. There are few professional services firms that, when faced with an opportunity to land a big piece of business, haven't just dropped their price to make the deal happen. No matter how they rationalized it to themselves or their clients, price is a highly effective manipulation. Drop your prices low enough and people will buy from you. We see it at the end of a retail season when products are priced to move. Drop the price low enough and the shelves will very quickly clear to make room for the next season's products. Playing the price game, however, can come at tremendous cost and can create a significant dilemma for the company. For the seller, selling based on price is like heroin. The short term gain is fantastic, but the more you do it, the harder it becomes to kick the habit. Once buyers get used to paying a lower than average price for a product or service, it is very hard to get them to pay more. And the sellers, facing overwhelming pressure to push prices lower and lower in order to compete, find their margins cut slimmer and slimmer. This only drives a need to sell more to compensate. And the quickest way to do that is price again. And so the downward spiral of price addiction sets in. In the drug world, these addicts are called junkies. In the business world, we call them commodities. Insurance, home computers, mobile phone service, any number of packaged goods, the list of commodities created by the price game goes on and on. In nearly every circumstance, the companies that are forced to treat their products as commodities brought it upon themselves. I cannot debate that dropping the price is not a perfectly legitimate way of driving business. The challenge is staying profitable. Walmart seems to be an exception to the rule. They have built a phenomenally successful business playing the price game, but it also came at a high cost. Scale helped Walmart avoid the inherent weaknesses of a price strategy. But the company's obsession with price above all else has left it scandal ridden and hurt its reputation. And even every one of the company's scandals were born from its attempts to keep costs down so it could afford to offer such low prices. Price always costs something. The question is, how much are you willing to pay for the money you make?
Okay, one moment. Let me check. I think now we have completed 27 pages. Promotions. Okay, can we complete only the promotion or can we start tomorrow? What others say? Now time is 7:45. Can we lead one topic?
I think let's do not hurry.
Okay,
Read
okay,
we'll read next day.
okay. Fine, then we end for today's reading with this, and let's start from tomorrow with the promotions and other things. Okay, those who wants to lead your sharings of whatever we read so far, please you share your thoughts. Okay, we started this book based on, I think we have conducted different journal, and this was the book high number of people voted. Yeah, of course, there are some people also voted some other books, but we chose this book as most number of people have voted this book. And this book also it's kind of related to the leadership and the things. And this book, very famous one. I think I have seen. I think many of the people have recommended this book. Start with Why. I've seen some leaders they have recommended to read this book. So how many of you have connected with this book? I think when we started, we just started. we completed that's only one chapter we completed today. And in the beginning, he shared something overview about the Wright brothers and Martin Luther King and Apple. I think I got to know something the background stories about the Apple, who are the competitors. I think when any new product or something coming up, that is not the only one. In the back end, there are so many people doing or introducing into the market, but the one who succeed or the one who does all those things what is necessary, they are getting succeed and they are the one remains the history. Today we have read the
Yeah,
first
so
chapter. Yeah,
I will share. So I'm a
yeah,
very
please.
big fan of Simon Sinek, first of all, The
Mhm.
Optimist. And I have read almost all his books. It start
Oh,
with why, then find your why, then leaders hit last. All his books I have read. And I like it very much. The script he has written is very impactful for me in a like business world, in a corporate world. Right? It helps me a lot. And the notion that he has mentioned related to start with why is like sometimes missing in our everyday life also. So one example I want to share. So there is a in the house there is a door frame, if you remember, right? A door frame. So in Hindi we can call it a chaukat, or in Gujarati we call it a umbro. So I was just asking my mother. So in the every morning, sorry, every morning my mother was having a like puja of this door frame, right? So I think the rituals most of the people we are following in Indian culture. So I just asked my mother like why we are doing this. Is there any specific reason that why we need to have a worship of this door frame, at least the main door frame? And my mother explained me very well, like this is the place. Will you remember if whenever you are going outside to do any bad work, so it will resist you. This is the place that will resist you. When you go outside with a good work, that will also remind you, right? So whenever you have done any bad work or any bad things you have done, whenever you come to home, you you will resist at this place, like I have done something bad. And that's why this is a reminder for us that what we have done outside, and while going outside what we are going to do. So that's why we need to have a worship of this place. So that's what very touching for me. Like if there is a why in every act of our things, then it will be very easy us to follow, right? And that's the things we have observed in all these three examples. So their why was clear specifically. So that's why without like Wright brothers, no specific talented people, no specific fund, right? But still their why was clear, and that why has inspired the people. And that's why they have achieved the things so no one achieved it earlier. Same for Apple. So they start looking with why. So it's very touching for me. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, Viren, for sharing nice one and your nice experience what your mom taught. Of course, people I think the old generation people they do a lot of things, but sometimes we wouldn't be able to adopt it until unless why we are doing it, and we accept convictionally when we come to know why part when it is clear, then we start okay, yeah, that is what we are, that is the reason we are doing it. Just example, I think if in this case when Viren asked his mom and his mom said my mom explained what is the exact reason. In that case, in case if mom explained my mother did or my forefathers did, I think that's why I continued. Then we wouldn't be convinced. See, like this is just one small example. We have experienced many things in our life, even in our office or something. If someone says that why reason or why part, someone clear,
then we do that activity or we do that work with more conviction. That is, I truly believe on that. I think, anybody have any thoughts about today's reading or what was shared by Viren? Others? Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, Rajesh. See, I like the example what Virenji just shared. Na? It was nice, Chokhat ka example. Why? So I believe that there is a why factor in every action. And most of it, like if we have a strong why, that the outcome is good. Or good in the sense that we have a outcome, a desired outcome. But when there is a no why, it goes waste. See, in our normal life, not talking about the market price, the book, it started with the Apple example. And like they wanted a phone in everybody's hand. So that was the reason why he invented Apple, the phone. So when this why is important, that's this motivation is strong, the outcome is great. But similarly, Adolf Hitler also, he had that the feeling he was motivating people. It was a negative motivation. It was a negative thing where he was controlling, but somehow he was able to control the people around with that thing that us there was a strong why. And how he ruled Germany, it was, everybody knows that. So the why factor, it gives action, and it gives, yes, motivation is there and inspiration also is there, and that is how the action takes place in our daily life. We see, for every, nowadays children have become very logical. For everything, if we want to tell them, do this puja, do that, or why, don't wear this kind of dress, they could simply ask why. So we have to give explanation, then only they will follow. As you said, Rajesh, that we need to convince them. We have that convincing thing has to be there, then only people understand and follow. And if it goes without understanding, there it may not continue also. If we want some trend to be followed, if we want some rituals to be followed in our home, we have to explain why. Then only we can expect our children to follow it. So there is a very strong why thing for behind every action. And this book, as it talks about the market, about the demand, the commodities and a customer, everything. So this is focusing mainly about the why the companies, how the companies are behaving and how they can increase the productivity just by knowing why they have that many customers and why their employees are, how many employees are there and why they are working for them. So that why the customers are coming to them and why the employees are working for them, that may help them to increase the productivity or their sale, or they can have an edge in the market. So this why it connects everything from personal life to the social life. Everywhere, I believe, yes, this why is very strong. And that is what leads us, that is what pushes us to take some action. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Anjali. Yeah, whether it is personal life or the social life, the why part is very important. Of course, whatever we do, whether we are as a student, whether we are studying, or as a professional, whether we are working, or as a family, as a family man, we are doing something. When we have a great clarity about the why part, then we get more involved on what we are doing it. Um, so asking, I think, why I'm doing it. So we will get an answer that will make more conviction and more interest and more deep into that work what we do. Anybody have any thoughts? Deepa ma'am, Suman, Mansi?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
Though you have covered all, but still I'll say that it's very true. And thank you, Rajesh, for choosing this book, because knowing our why is always a strong reminder that we are not distracted. And the early we know that what is our why, the goal becomes very easy to achieve. And whenever we know our why, the inside motivation works. We don't need outer motivation for that. Otherwise, we find motivation to do. But if our why is clear, then the motivation works from inside. Yeah. And it applies in every field. That's true. Whatever we do, if why is clear, then things become easy to achieve.
Yeah,
Thank
yes,
you.
ma'am. Yeah, thank you so much for the sharing. I think when we find that why, then it is easy for doing that activity or doing the things.
Yeah,
That's a
and if
good
we
one.
know the why, the how also becomes easy.
Yeah. There are many questions: what, how, where, when. But the most important question isn't anything; is a why. Because even if that is something a product is coming up in the market and something, there is no point I think what product they make. But if they have clear about why they are making it, what problem they're going to solve the problem, or what uh why they have to do this. If they have a conviction or if they clear about it, then that is chances of the business success. Everything depend on that. How we fulfill that, how they are clarifying that why part. Yes, Deepa ma'am, we would like to hear from you something.
Thank you, everyone. Everyone's reading was beautiful, and the insights have been very interesting. Um, Maybe someone has already covered what I'm going to say. Uh, my thing is, if something is not working, whether it be in our relationship or some mechanical thing or anything, any work or anything, if it is not working, the first thing we have to do is ask why it's not working, and we'll find a fix for it. Instead of giving up on something, we can find a fix only by asking the question why. It is not just the purpose, it is not just a motivation or a reason for doing something. Why also fixes problems. So, as long as we keep asking why, we get it. And like the writer also said, if something is working, then also if we ask a why, we can improvise and we can innovate and we can take whatever we are doing at a higher level. Sometimes things are working by default, hmm, but the default might break anytime. It might not work after some time. So the way I look at it, any good or bad or things not working, asking a why is very important, and that question at a very periodical level we should keep doing. I think most organizations also do that, so that they understand the proper reason and they find a proper path for solving a problem or upgrading themselves in an innovative way. So why is very important. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Deepa ma'am. I think you have put it across that personal perspective. Why is important? Maybe I think sometimes when we have a clash with someone or when we have some misunderstanding, the problem I think many both sides I think they don't know. I think they are not sharing each other why this situation or why this happened or why the gap happened between whether it is their husband or wife or the friends and friends across why this happened. Sometimes people may have some ego to ask this or an ego to share this. But if we clarify, or the both partners are clarifying this why part, then the relationship also getting stronger and it will be more built. I think we can avoid unnecessary assumptions about it by clearing that why part. Thank you for sharing the personal perspective or the relationship perspective about the why part. Thank you. Anyone else want to share anything about today's reading, please? Please,
Yeah, yeah.
please share. Yes, Manish ji.
Yeah, I want to share a few insights which are different from what other have shared. See, what I understand is that when you have to get connected with people. See, if I'm running a company or a business or something, if I'm not connected with people, I cannot do a good job. So the point is that when we work on our why factor, people sometimes like people. If I have to connect with people, I have to tell them why I'm doing this, and it is beyond the sake of my own profit. Because when you associate with people beyond your own profit, that okay, like why you are doing this, it is making a difference to the people around you, to the society. So it is easy to get connected with people. right? Because everything is, is all about your belief and emotions. When people understand that you are doing a job which is beyond your own profit, you are making people not to buy something, but to make them feel happy and successful in their, like, make them feel happy with that product, like what Apple did, and that the but brothers, right, who invented that yeah, airline thing, right? So the point is, when you have a strong Y factor, so basically you are working beyond your own profit. You're not just working for your own, that profit. You are connecting with people, and you are giving them something which is beyond your life. Giving them good product with a lot of good features. You know, that they can understand that this is the best product they can think of, like that. And one more thing is, when we work with our Y factor, basically, uh, we in that case we are full of good emotions, because this is what we want to achieve to make us happy, right? And working with a strong Y factor keep your emotions high. It gives you full energy, because you are working with like you're working with your passion. It is not just for the sake of money, or your the purpose is beyond money. You want to make a difference, uh, like you want to achieve your passion, and you want to help people, and so that you basically want to make a mark in the society, so that you can benefit yourself and others. And that will make you will get connected with the right people with the same beliefs, and they can also support you in so many different ways. So it's just like getting connected, like pursuing your passion and making people get connected on the same mindset, that how we can help each other to live a great life, basically. So it's all with the emotion, belief system, your purpose, and why. Because living with purpose is the highest happiness one can have. So I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that is the point. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Manish, for the nice sharing. I think you talk about that employee and the relationship, employee and team relationship. There's a nice quote coming up in this book, same book. When we tell people to do their job, we get workers. When we trust people to get the job done, we get leaders. So that is what the relationship. I think when we are making our people to clarify them why we are doing it, then they will do it. I think they will take care of it. As a business owner, I think they can give it to them the freedom, and they will run the business, or they will make wonders in the business, and also it will create leaders. There are amazing things are coming up in this book. I think going forward, we are going to talk about the golden circle. It says, I think, of the why it is important, and why it's important more than that how and what part. That also, that's the one, the clarity, discipline, consistency. He shared a lot about the personal things. This is not only for the business related books or leadership. This is also the self discipline related. The information is also he shared with a lot of examples. I think going forward, we will have a lot of informations and a lot of takeaway from these sessions. I would like everyone to join every day this book morning at 7 a.m. Let's start, and let's try to finish by 8 o'clock. Not that I think not to go beyond that. So 7 to 8, people have committed with other things. So people are those who are sharing it. Please, you take care of it. I think take care of the timing part. Sometimes sharing, I think you can try to limit it within 2 minutes or some things. If we extend for longer time, then it may affect for others to share as well. But when we something very glue into it, very deep into it, yeah, of course we can extend some more time. That's not a problem. So hope you all clear about it, and we had a great time and great reading for today's book, today's reading. Let's continue the same energy and excitement going forward in the next reading and the coming days as well. If you find that any of your friends have not joined this book, I think we just started today, just ping them and just remind them, hey, you join back at 7 o'clock for reading this new book. You can bring more people and more energy, because I feel more than that reading, whatever we are sharing each other, that is a great insights, and that is a lot of the takeaway from this session. Thank you so much for actively participating for today's reading. See you all again uh, tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Rajesh ji.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was beautiful. Wonderful shares, wonderful hosting, Rajesh. So yeah, I'm taking the AI summary.
Yeah.
You want to know how to
Yeah.
take it?
Yeah. I want. I think I'll be here for some time.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
So you
Thank you,
can see the
everyone.
Thank
AI
you so much.
icon there at the bottom.
Okay. Yeah. One moment. Okay. AI companion. Okay. Let me share my screen. Manish, do you want to?
You
Do you
don't
want to
have to.
be? Uh, sorry.
You can just see it in the menu. You will see AI and it will
Yeah.
be shining. So it will be glowing as
Yeah.
such.
I can see.
You saw it?
Uh,
So now just click on that.
uh,
And as you click, you
One minute.
will,
One minute.
you,
One minute. Let me share.
yeah.
Oh, I think if you're sharing it, I think it will. It is coming up. I think there is no point sharing now.
No, you don't have to share the screen. I'm telling you, it's easy. You will just
Yeah.
follow.
Okay, option. I think when I open this one, there is option catch me up. Was my name mentioned? Are there any action items? What topics have been discussed by
So
default?
now, as you
Uh,
open, you can
uh,
type in the chat whatever you want. So like normally,
mm,
forms that Richa told me to use,
uh,
and that's what I have been also using. They're like
uh-huh.
just summarize the reading for today. So I do that. So it gives
Okay,
me the reading summary. And then after I get the summary, I take it up and I just highlight a few things and I just put bullets and all to make it easy to read. Otherwise, it gives me everything. So I just
okay,
take that. And the next part is then I give the second prompt, which is summarize the shares by all individual members today. So that way, it give me the so you try this. So you will also
yeah.
get so that way it gives me name wise. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so who shared what types.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I have been doing so far. But you can
Okay.
explore, you can try different
Fine.
prompts, whatever you
Yeah.
give, accordingly it will give you. And what I
Mm.
would suggest now, since you're doing it, if you can do it in a Word or some other file also, that will be good because it will help us to keep the records because this thing goes away, right?
Yeah. I
Uh,
will keep it. I think I will keep it in the everything is separate part. I have created one on OneNote page also for this. I will record. I'll keep a track of everything.
uh. So for now, I have taken just to get started, but you also take for today, and
Yeah.
uh, and then you keep it. And maybe you can also like from tomorrow you can share however you feel comfortable.
Uh-huh. Okay. This one for
Only thing
some.
what happens is when I copy paste, at least in the WhatsApp, uh, the bullets and everything that the AI normally what it gives me, that goes away. So I have to re highlight and go.
Actually, summary for each individual study person, like some about asking mention being big fan of Simon. Okay, I think okay. Uh,
So the prompt I
uh,
use it summarize the shares by each by individuals. As like if you use
okay.
the word individuals, it will give you the name of people
Mm,
who shared.
yeah, it gives, yeah.
You can tweak the prompts. You can use like just give it. You can ask AI to give you an elaborated share or a short
Mm,
share. That also it does. So it
mm.
just gives you as per your prompt, whatever
Okay,
you
okay.
ask.
Yeah. I think we can use the right prompt to get that more informations.
Yeah, you can
When we get
explore the
when we tweak
prompts.
that prompt, then we'll get
Yeah,
more information. So, yeah.
yeah. I have
Mm-hmm.
been very consistently using these two prompts only to keep it
Mm-hmm.
easy, and it
Mm.
works. Like it helps me. Like it's fine.
Yeah,
So yeah.
good.
So try it
Fine.
out.
How is this thing? Do you have any suggestions, any feedback where we have to make
No, I loved
changes?
it. In fact, there is so much learning for me. The way you led it, it was very beautiful. I wanted to share this with you. In fact, it was amazing. So
Thank
yeah,
you. I
and the way
think
you also made them like right now also na like when you shared like what is coming up next and
Mm-hmm.
so we join and all. That was also beautiful. I never did that. So yeah,
Actually,
this was
I
beautiful.
prepared something last night. I think around 12 o'clock. I didn't got late. My plan was morning waking up at 6 o'clock, and I will have to prepare some nice introduction about this book. To okay, before this start, I think I wanted to share something about what I was going to learn, all those things. But
So do
I
it
woke up
tomorrow,
at
na?
exactly 6:53.
No, and the
While
number
just
is also good. Like good
yeah,
number of
8 people.
people
Yeah,
are
8 people
joining.
join. Yeah,
That's
yeah, eight
good.
people join. Yeah, that's good. At 10, yeah, 8 to 10 people, I think it's a good one. And also, I want to finish the thing. 7 o'clock we can start, and 8 o'clock we can finish. I think not
Yeah,
to
yeah.
extend more time.
Maybe if
Let's be.
possible, we can open the room a little early. So
Yeah, yeah, I will
that
do
time
it.
that goes now, which
Yeah,
well people join and we say and then we start and all that would be
not to
good.
wait for a long time. I think I want to practice for the 7 or 2. Have to start reading, so that people will have a tendency about okay, hey, I think if I'm late, then they will start
And
reading, then I'll be
what
missing
I
it.
feel now, Rajesh, like
Uh,
not for this book in general, I'm saying for B Club overall, we should have two people.
yes, yes, yes,
One
yeah.
person is not enough because now also in the afternoon time, Jyoti got an emergency, so we had to cancel that book
Yeah. We need two people.
in
I
the
think we
break.
don't know when the emergency coming up, and then what are things.
Yeah, and it's
Uh,
always better, right? Because then we can support each other also, na? One
mm,
can take a summary, one can share the screen, some things like that. So we should make it a like a system that how there is two people for every book instead of one person. One can just be a
yeah, yeah,
supporter, but at least taking a little bit of responsibility of supporting also will help a lot. Let's
mm-hmm.
see how we can make come to that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. It was
Fine.
beautiful.
Tomorrow, I think let's start join by 6:45. Then I will start join with that the IPI, the same ID, because I don't want to depend on you. I think every time. I think sometimes you may be busy. I don't want to lose that continuity part. For example, live streaming and recording and all those things. I
So
will join from the actual
you want me
username
to share
password.
right now also? I'll
Right
just
now,
make.
I think I have to get ready my kids. Even 8 o'clock, my
Yeah, yeah, no
rush
problem. Yeah,
starts.
tomorrow.
Let's 12. I think 6:40. Can we connect 6:45? Is it possible for you?
Yeah, yeah, no problem. I'll do that.
Okay, let's join. I think that's 50 minutes sufficient for us. Before that, I think I can let me check that username password. I will join with that. So, do you want me to join that the Google, YouTube also the same, or that Google also with the same ID?
You will have to because then you will at least that's how I have seen because once or twice what happened when
Mm,
I had not logged in through that ID, the live
mm.
streaming went on my other account
Oh.
which was open. So it will be a problem. Then you'll have to download and then upload and all of
Because for in my
that.
system, I think
So
multiple
there are
accounts have
two, three
opened.
sessions. Yeah,
Multiple
that's
accounts
why.
have
So you
opened.
open through B Club account on
Okay.
YouTube also, and
Hmm.
even in Zoom you log in through B Club account. That will help you.
Zoom also.
So you will
Okay,
be
okay.
the
Fine,
host
I'll do
by
that.
that.
Tomorrow I'll do that. I think I will get ready for everything, and then let's prepare with this one, this part. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
sure.
the last Sunday my running, I think the half marathon was done. Uh,
Okay.
that one. Then
And
I think.
whenever you are
Hmm,
not there, na, like for
hmm,
this 2 weeks,
hmm,
and if there is no one to support, just announce a break on that day. That's okay.
hmm, hmm,
Because
hmm, hmm.
otherwise it will break the flow, na, of it.
Yeah. How you
Otherwise, I
how
can
you
speak, but I won't. I feel you will also miss out, right? So better you just take
Yeah,
a
I think
break,
I don't
not.
want to. I think only thing I think Thursday evening I'm leaving home, and Friday morning I will be reaching. But I will be there. I think I'll be. I can hope I can join from the train. I think this is the time exactly. I think 6:30. Sometimes I will be reaching home.
I
Sometimes
mean,
I'll
if
reach
there is
home
a
by
little bit
7 or
support you want, I can be there. But if you
okay.
completely are not available, then maybe you can take a break or something. That's also
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now tell me, do you have any commitment? Okay, Rajesh, I won't be available this week, or I won't be completely available. You can, yeah, now you are that passive, yeah, you are supporting me. Is there anything, yeah, do you have any commitment? Any functions are coming back? You wouldn't be able to join the session? Any such?
No, I'm not thinking, hopefully not. But the problem is
Okay. Hmm.
my daughter's exams and Navratri, both things are going on simultaneously, na?
Okay,
So the
okay.
only thing is, I don't know if someday I might just miss out. I don't know, like
Okay.
that might just happen because we sleep late sometimes or
Understand,
we
understand, understand,
we have something
understand.
in the morning early morning, that
Okay.
might just be an interruption at times, like not sure. But and if I'm
In case
aware
if
of
you're
it,
making, yeah, in case if that situations, I think okay, you decided the night, okay, next day you will be able to make it up. Just you can send me a hint. Okay, one message, Rajesh. I think I am doubtful about
yeah,
tomorrow
if
morning
that
joining.
happens somewhere, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
yesterday night, I was working with her like till late night, like 2 o'clock and all. So I was not sure. But then
yeah, yeah,
since
yeah.
I had to like be there for you, I just joined in, like making
Yeah, yeah.
sure
Thanks. Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
not asleep. And
Thanks for
but I'm
understanding.
just saying
Otherwise,
that that's the only thing. That's the only concern that
mm,
maybe someday, uh,
yeah, I think I want. I
once her
think
exams are
I
really
want you also a
sorted.
little bit free. You also little bit free, and I think I freely have to attend. Okay, let me listen only. Let me just
uh,
hear what people say. I
No, today
want
it
you
was
to
good.
get that experience.
Even this much is beautiful for me. I was free today.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think tomorrow onwards you will know this AI and all also. So I think that will be even I will be more free.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll do it. I think I can make it. I can make it. I can. Because that
Okay.
is what I
And
think.
so
A
much.
major. Well, that's the one major reason I have taken this book. I think at least I
Thank
think
you so much.
Mansi has to little free in the morning.
No,
She
that
has
is
been one
why
day always
I
small.
announced now if there is no one, then maybe we'll take a break because
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I think.
my situation was also not sure, like if I'll be there, able to
Mm,
take the responsibility for this during these periods, especially.
mm, 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 mm,
Once my daughter's exams are sorted and this Navratri thing is over, then that I can still be able to manage. But now it was little tough. So yeah. Thank you so much. I want more people to take
mm.
this
Okay, yeah.
lead actually so that it can keep going. Like
Yeah, I agree. But I think that's what people. And I think for that, I think we need extra efforts required. Mansi. I think
we'll
even
learn from
people,
this book.
some
We'll
people,
learn
they are
from this book and implement. Let's see. Will how
why?
to induce that why? Because we have it. Let's see how people also feel it. There was something about leadership also, no, today. Like it was nice. So let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Chalo then. Bye bye. Take care.
Okay, okay. Thanks, Mansi.
And
Thank you so
thank you
much.
so much. It was beautiful start, Rajesh. I truly enjoyed it. And I think everyone did. You did it wonderfully.
Nice.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah.
Bye
Thank you
bye.
so much. I think it's all with the support.
Yeah. Thank you. Chalo.
Thank